So I did a thing, went ahead and got I would consider a semi-professional camera just to kind of, turn up the quality, get a little more serious about content creation. And this is basically what I bought. I'm going to show you here in this video. What is up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Reliable Tech channel, where we go over all things tech, just cool little gadgets here and there that help me in my day-to-day as a content creator, podcaster, and just, live streaming, social media stuff, things of that nature. I went ahead and purchased, I'm just going to tell you what it is. It is the Panasonic Lumix S9. I feel like if you're starting out, this is a very good, mirrorless camera, full frame. So there's that whole thing where you get up to like 6K photos, and it's full frame. So it's going to be a little more boxy. It's not that perfect 16:9 ratio, but I'd rather have more than less. So you do have to crop it in just a little bit to, like when I do YouTube videos and things of that nature. This one is just fantastic in my opinion. The only thing, if you guys are looking for a camera and you're looking at either a Panasonic, a Lumix, I had also looked into like Fujifilm. That was another one that I strongly considered. And then there's the Sony cameras. So Sony offers something similar to this, and I purposely went into the next tier because you're gonna have those content creator bundles, content creator cameras that are point and shoot. But in my opinion, those are no better than your phone camera. And sometimes your iPhone, if you have the newest Pro, newest Galaxy phone, even the Pixels, you're gonna have a better camera on that versus, something you buy for like 500 bucks as far as, a full camera like this. So to me, those are cameras you would want if you just wanted a dedicated camera that you didn't care too much of the actual look of the footage. I do. I'm recording right now on a DJI Pocket 3, which I think is fantastic if you want a dedicated camera, and it is so small. And I think this, now it does cost quite a bit. It cost me like $600-700 bucks. I know now it's gone up to like $800 or $900 bucks. So wherever you can find it, I'll try and link everything down below. I do have if you go to my website for Reliable Tech, you get sent straight to a list of all the products you've seen on my channel, all the camera gear that I use to record, mics, cameras, tripods, all that kind of stuff. You'll find it there, including lighting, which I need to go over in another video. So you're paying more for convenience, but I think you're also paying a little bit more for quality. I think the DJI Pocket 3 is miles ahead of those entry-level $500-600, Sony cameras, content creator cameras. I think different brands do them, but I went for this specifically because you can just pick your own lens. So this is the camera by itself. So I went ahead and bought this solo, just the camera, and then I went and got the lenses that I specifically was looking for. There's like 3 different ways you can go for a lens. You can go ultra wide close-up if you're vlog style, but also if you don't have enough room in whatever studio corner. This is just a corner right now. The Pocket 3 does a really good job of, being super close to me, but I get a full wide angle shot without looking too distorted. So that's where I went with this lens in particular, because I can vlog with it this style, this arm length away, and it still looks great. It's, to me, not super distorted, and I get everything in frame, including myself. Like in the actual footage, I'm not like super close to the camera. So you would need something from either a 16 up to 20, maybe 24 millimeter lens. I went right in the middle. It's what Panasonic had. It is an 18 millimeter lens. So there's different mounts for that. This is specifically an L mount. I'll leave, like I said, as much as I can down below if you guys are interested in any of the stuff that you see here. This is L mount, so I can't necessarily go and get any lens out there. I have to make sure that it's compatible with the camera that I bought. So with this Lumix S9, it's L mount. I went ahead and just bought the Panasonic lenses because they're gonna have, in my opinion, you at least know that it's high quality, it's meant for the camera. The difference is when you go see something that is way cheaper is just gonna be like the glass that they use and there's other things to it, but that's mainly my concern is like the quality, the clarity, you know, things like that. So like I was saying, this is the 18mm with the f1.8 aperture, f-stop, whatever you want to call it. Basically, when you're looking at a lens, you're going to see the millimeters and then whatever the f-stop is. Those are the two main descriptions on like whatever you're looking at when you're buying one. So all that means is how much light it lets in and also your depth of field. So I'm breaking it down in layman's term. This is more of a channel for, you know, what works and what doesn't work. And if you like the way this stuff looks on my channel, or you're looking to buy something and you're kind of new to this and you don't know much, that's how I'm going to talk about this stuff, because I don't know too much. All I know is there was a few lenses that I tried. I had to return a couple. One I bought by mistake. The other one, I tried a much smaller lens that you could rotate and zoom in and out. That one gave you like anywhere from, I think, 20 to 40 millimeters, something like that. And it was the one that was supposed to come if you bought the kit. That's why I opted to buy the camera by itself so I could pick the lens that I wanted. Now these lenses are not cheap, especially when you go down to that 1.8 or whatever, sub like f4, you're gonna pay a lot more because you're gonna get a lot more light in, and you're also gonna get depth of field. Like I said, if you guys like blurry backgrounds, you like cinematic shots, that's where that second number comes into play. So 18 millimeters just means I can vlog at arm's length or be propped up against a wall or in a corner and not have to worry about pushing this 10 feet out or whatever. So small spaces, 16 to 20, 24 millimeter is a good lens to get. Again, I wanted something that had an adjustable aperture where I could bring it all the way down if I need to at 1.8, but I typically keep it around 2.5. Now, if you get something that is like 4, 6, anything in that range, you're not gonna get a blurry background, you're not gonna get any depth. That's what that is. And then you need more lighting. So what I've noticed playing around with it, because I don't really know how to use the camera, is, you know, that part of it is starting to set everything manually. So I do set my ISO, which is your brightness, aperture, how much light you let in. And then also, I haven't gotten into white balance yet. I kind of leave that one on auto, but playing around with the aperture and then the ISO to make sure that I get the lighting that I look for. And the other lens that I got, I feel like I said, there's 3 different categories or styles that you could go for. It's the ultra wide or ultra wide, and you get something super close, like I said, and then you can get into a 30 to 50 millimeter. And then if you are filming outdoors far away, then you would get something that's over 80 millimeter. That's more of a telephoto lens where you need to zoom in. So 18 millimeter was great. I just feel like there is a slight warping. There is a little bit of, it's not really a fisheye effect. It's just wide angle. So it's gonna look like an action camera or whatever it is for certain things, especially photography. So this is not a lens that I would ever shoot photos with unless it's in a pinch. It does take great photos at that, but I would prefer to have something that is not as distorted or not as wide angle, where you're gonna pick something from 30 to 50, in my opinion. So when I was looking, it was between like a 30 and a 50. I just went with 50 because less distortion, better for photography and stuff like that. So I went ahead and got the 50 millimeter, and this one as well is going to be that f1.8, so I can get super blurry backgrounds. I can film in a studio session if I have more room and still get that same look that I get with this lens, just more of a more proper spacing. And then when it comes to photography, this is great for a lot of photos. So thumbnail photos, just product photos. When I do tool reviews, stuff like that, I'm gonna switch over to this lens. And typically when I take like B-roll footage, it's a little bit harder with the 18 millimeter, just the way it looks. It's like an action camera type of deal in my head. So when I switch over to the 50, I do need more space. It's a little getting used to, but at 50, you get the perfect picture, the perfect depth, perfect everything, and then you can just change your aperture and kind of play around with the settings to accommodate for, you know, the distance or anything like that, and the lighting and all that. So that is my kind of dive into a mirrorless full frame camera. Is something that was easy to use, which I'll explain right now, and being able to swap between an 18 and a 50 millimeter lens to cover kind of everything that I do personally. And what I do personally with this camera is only film here in the studio. So whether I'm here right now talking to you guys, I would typically use this camera, but to show you this camera, I'm recording with a different one. So anything super close, when I'm in the garage and I have that tool review workbench set up, I'm using this because I don't want it across the room, so I'm sticking with the 18. And then I'll switch over to do, like I said, B-roll, photos that I need for tools and stuff like that. And this one in particular, it wasn't too bad. It's a $1,200 camera, $800 lens here, and I believe like $500 over here. So it's an investment, and I think prices have gone up since then. So like I said, I'll link everything, but it might not be what I paid for it. Now you're gonna pay that regardless of any camera that you buy. So if you guys go with Sony, the only difference is you might pay a little bit more and you're gonna get a grip. So I specifically, personally, went with this camera because it is super compact. There's no odd shape to it. It's a nice grab and go camera to take with you on trips, take outside, whatever it is. Super easy to take with you. So like I said, if you go with Sony, you're gonna get an actual grip, something that sticks out that you can hold confidently. This one has this little thumb grip right here, and the rest of it is just like the body of the camera. I've already gotten used to it. When I first got it, yes, I was terrified to drop it and whatnot, but I've already gotten used to it where I know where to place my thumb, and I haven't dropped it yet. I do have these little things on the side, so I'm gonna get into kind of what I have for it. Maybe not super detailed, just kind of go over it really quick. But these little lanyards with these ball joints is a way to have like a wrist strap or a neck strap, shoulder strap. If I do have to walk around a big warehouse or building, when I do facility tours and stuff like that, and I want to use this camera, so that's what these are for. I don't like the strap that it came with because it doesn't have a quick disconnect where you can take it on and off, because I don't like to have it unless I'm like walking around a lot. And even then I might just throw it in my backpack. So if you go with a Sony, you're gonna get a grip. Some other cameras do that. This one is specifically super slim. Also, this is just a cold shoe mount. So you're not gonna be able to use anything that Sony would, where you could maybe get an adapter for your mic and it just automatically connects to the camera. I do have to run that cable to get the mic into the mic port here. But again, to me, not a big deal. I would rather have a more compact camera. Also, what I've noticed is that the audio on this is actually pretty good. I recorded a few clips. And our positive terminal here, like I said, that other one I have is very short, so the only grounded area I can get is this bolt right back here. That's typically where you're supposed to, because everything else is painted, obviously. So actually didn't even need to get my microphone because they were short enough, like a couple of minutes, and this thing picked it up really well, and I was outside at that. So the onboard mic is not too bad. It also has this flip out screen that you can turn around and turn in, and super compact. Like I said, it's relatively easy to use. The interface is super easy. You flip it on and you're ready to go. There is no nonsense, weird things to kind of deal with. It's just you open it, set it to the video or photo mode that you want, set the resolution, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, basically I just make sure I set my ISO for the lighting, and that's about it. I just point and shoot. What I do like that I want to use for creative photography is the LUT feature here. You do have a button, and I already preset some LUTs for like cinematic shots. Really cool. Like if you guys think of like Dark Knight Rises, Oppenheimer, a lot of these movies have these like profiles. So it could be like an orange, warm color, tinted throughout the movie. It could be like a really cool, really bright. It could be like a bluish, orangey color. There's so many profiles that different movies use to kind of set the mood and all that. So this one has that LUT built in. I'm a little hesitant to use it for everything, but when I feel like I want a certain shot, that's where I use that LUT button. And I've already uploaded a few because it does come with its own app that I can just, you know, every now and then I feel like I want that kind of shot. I hit that LUT button and go through it. Now I'm using my iPad as a monitor, and that was one thing because I'm using the DJI Pocket 3 and the iPad is able to mirror basically. And back when I recorded on strictly just my phone, I would AirPlay the phone to either an iPad or a TV. So I always knew that I was in frame and I didn't have any issues, because if I ever didn't use that kind of like external monitor thing, oh my God, like I cropped out the top of my head, I cropped out something that I was showing. So it's important for me to have an external monitor, which I'm looking at right now. And the DJI has an app that lets you do that wireless monitor. That was very important to me. I wasn't sure if this came with it. I knew that it had an app because the other benefit, and the reason I picked this, is you can actually have it set to take photos and video in what is a more compressed file that is compatible with your phone. So they do have an app, their Lumix Lab, and that's where you can connect your phone to the S9 or any Lumix camera, I believe, and download any photos, any videos that you took. Granted, I try to keep those like the short social media clips that I would want on my phone, but you can download and offload those to your phone and then just immediately post them to social media. So that's great for me, for Instagram, TikTok, or the photos, because I like to edit on my iPhone. I've gotten so used to editing photos and then adding my watermark and then just posting directly like to Instagram, where I would prefer to offload the photos here versus trying to edit them on a computer, where it might not be as easy or quick. I just have it set to that compressed format. I don't need the full raw resolution as a small creator. I'm not trying to color grade the hell out of it. So for me, that's another reason why this one is a good beginner camera, if you would, semi-professional, is you can have that setting. Make sure you have it set because it needs to be MP4 light. And from there, you can offload anything and edit or upload from your phone. And that allows me to do what I'm doing right now with the DJI, is wirelessly monitor this camera. So I can set this up, turn the display off, and have it on a tripod and not even have the display out. Trying to do as much as I can for it to not overheat because I have a really hot garage. I'm able to monitor it, control it as well. So the thing I like about the DJI and the Lumix app is I can hit record, hit stop. I can even mess with the ISO and make any quick adjustments that I need to, refocus. A lot of anything you would be able to do on the camera when you're recording, you can do it in the app. So having that wireless monitor has been a game changer, super important, and another reason why I have really enjoyed using this camera. Make sure to stay tuned. I'm gonna go over some more everyday, gear that I carry, and I got more backpacks to review and stuff like that. So if you guys haven't yet, please subscribe this channel. I'm trying to do more with it. My studio's still not ready. It's gonna take quite a while. So this is kind of the makeshift for now, makeshift little studio where I can kind of like talk, put something down, pull it up, whatever. So the garage is really hot still. working on a lot of stuff. So like I said, subscribe to stay tuned, stay informed. I appreciate everybody that comes over from my main channel to kind of keep up with me. And I know there's a lot of content creators starting out. So I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, anything specific, I know I haven't gotten to some of them because I kind of took a break. I will get to them. I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you guys.